Welcome back to the Sound for More channel. It's Leo speaking. Today I have the pleasure to introduce you to speakers from AudioThing. Before I continue, I would like to remind my viewers to subscribe as it helps with growing the channel. Thank you very much. Additionally, if you would like to participate to the giveaway and have the opportunity to win a copy of speakers, please do follow the instruction contained in the video description. Thank you again. So what is speakers? Speakers is a plugin which that simulates speakers and microphones using what is called convolution engine, a nice convolution engine, state-of-the-art engine created by AudioThing. So if you want to shape any sound to give the illusion that they are being played by an old telephone, radio, or a classic cabinet, or if you want to make it sound like they're being recorded by vintage ribbon microphone, well, that is the app for you. And as you can see on the screen, it's really nice, a nice UI, quite straightforward, nice and clean, which is always a plus from application and apps developed by AudioThing. Of course, the app gives you also the possibility to apply EQ, distortion, compression, filtering, but also to add some background noise, as you can see down here to the bottom. You can see distortion, compression, the filtering here, and then you see the input here for the microphone and also the output here where it says selected radio free. You have standard controls here where you have a list of presets, and nice to have also an init preset, factory and user presets, and you have a lot of factory presets, which is really great. You can save, delete, randomize, usual typical parameters of apps from AudioThing. Here you can lock parameters, you change preset, you have access to a menu for global settings, lot of different parameters which are standard within the app from AudioThing. But additionally here you have a routing mechanism which is really good, because as you can see, here you have your input with a microphone and you have EQ here, the speakers, and then the effect, and then you can click, drag, and you can move around the configuration of the routing, which is fantastic. It gives you a lot more options. So, but what does it offer? Well, it offers 50 different speakers ranging from cabinets, devices, phones, radios, speakers, toys, etc. 32 microphones, which will contain condensers, dynamics, phones, ribbons, and much more. You click on here, you have different category that you can choose for your microphone, and of course you click here where it says radio free, and then you have different categories for all your speakers. And of course you also have a vast selection here of background noises, 42, and they range from devices, places, organics, and much more, as you can see. Okay. So it's available for Mac OS, is available for Windows, and of course is also available for iOS. Now, let's have a taste of what it sounds like. So I have a simple file here, which I already prepared, which has been played by a file player inside the one audio channel in AUM, of course. And if I straight away activate the speaker, which as you can see by default exposes the parameter, which is the speaker type, which you can change directly from there. But if I play now, immediately you can hear that the sound has been altered based on the settings of microphone and speakers. But let's go through some presets, because they're really nice. And as you can see, you also have different representation of microphones and speakers based in pictures as well, not just in terms of parameters and text, which it's a bonus. The broken transmission is quite nice because you also have background noise, which is really superb. So as you can see, a lot of different options that you can choose from. As I just explained a moment ago, here's where you select your speakers. You click here and you go through the different categories. Of course, you can also select none if that is what you want, so you don't alter the input and you don't simulate that microphone. And similarly, you do here for your speakers, right? And again, you can select none there as well. You can move here with the arrows to go to different type of microphone, which will change, of course, the settings for the microphone, but also the picture. And the similar here, you can do it for the speakers. So it's really great. Here you have a range. If you click on it, you will have a Phi EQ as well, which always help. And then, of course, you can move up and down the different band like so, and double click to reset them, which is really great. And you can do that as well on the speaker. And of course, you can turn also each one individually on and off through this button here and here, both for the speaker here and the microphone. Then underneath each one, you have a number of controls. The first one here is the pitch, which changes the pitch of the impulse response. Okay, so then you have an echo, which controls the time of the impulse response echo, as you would expect, with a corresponding feedback, again, for the impulse response. Then you have the balance dial for your pan control. And then your mix, which is a mix between dry and wet signal, your output, which of course you can change. And then you can also invert the phase of the signal, which can be useful in case you are facing with phasing issue or to avoid phasing issue. And of course, you can do the same here on the right-hand side for the speakers. So let's try. Of course, to hear more effectively how the echo and feedback works, you probably may want to have an instrument track, or maybe have a piano which is playing towards it, and then you can start to hear the echo and feedback when they're active. Of course, with an audio file like the one I'm using at the moment, it's not the best in terms of to hear it. you hear it a little bit towards the end, but I will probably actually let me why not? Let me change the source here, and let's go, for example, for a grand piano here, and let's connect it to the keyboard like so, and then let's resize the window speakers. All right, and we change the echo and feedback. And also we do it here on the speakers, which is even better. Okay, and that is where you have your classic echo and feedback settings. Now let's reset these to file which I was playing a moment ago, like this one. Set it as a loop as well, and then we reset this one as a init, like so. Why not? Okay, let's continue the explanation of the controls on the screen. So here you have a distortion, which you can enable or disable as well. You can change the type of distortion, and you have different type of distortion or degradation algorithms. And as you can see, they are split between distortion here and degradation. So you have different types: carbo, microphone classic, diode clipper, soft drive, tape, valve, and then on the degradation you have bit crusher, drops, interference, you have quantization, also robotization as well, which is really great. Of course, as you change the type here of distortion or degradation, the controls here on the right hand side will change accordingly, depending really on what you have selected. So they can go from an amount, which controls the amount of the effect that you are applying, to gain, which controls, of course, the output of the gain of the output gain of the effect, of course. But as you change the type of distortion or degradation, you will find different controls, like this one, pre-emphasis, which control the amount of pre-emphasis filtering in, for example, the tape algorithm. Let's try. But you have a lot of other different selection. You have tone in this particular case. When you select the bit crusher, of course, you have down sample, of course, which will reduce the sample rate frequency, of course, creating aliasing. Then you have things like, for example, clicks, and in this case you have a rate dial, which controls the rate of the modulation and effect, and as you would expect. You can start to hear all these different clicks, which are great, and similar on drops. You have all these drops effect, which again allows you to simulate different type of equipment that you might have, or environment as well. GSM, for which you can introduce errors, of course, which is the simulated errors in the effect. And continue, you have interference as well, which is great, simulating, like, for example, interference from another radio device or Bluetooth device. Is really great. You have quantization with a parameter for FFT size, which will change the FFT size of the algorithm, which affect the timbre of the sound and therefore also the latency. and so on and so forth. Here you are on the radio gate, you have threshold and smoothness. Smoothness in terms of controlling the release amount of the radio gate algorithm. And so on and so forth. Robotization, which is really, really nice. Start to sound more like the robot type. And of course, if you go for something like valve, then you have tone, and in tones you control effectively the low pass filter of the valve algorithm. Again, a lot of different options. Here you have a compressor. Again, you can enable it or disable it. You have two controls. You have an envelope, which controls the speed response of the compression. And then you have an amount, which controls the amount of compression which is applied to the signal. You can hear the effect there of the compressor. Actually, let's leave it on and double click to reset. Then you have a filter. You can choose, of course, the type of filter here, clicking on the graph. So low pass, high pass, band pass, notch. So a lot of different options. And then, of course, you can change your cutoff frequency and, of course, the resonance of the filter. Additionally, you can add some background noise, which I really love this feature. You can choose the type of noise. You can go to devices, places, organics, and noises. And then, for example, you can say, why not? Let's go to organic. Let's try water. Okay, then of course you can change the pitch, the balance. Of course, for your pan, you have a level here, and then you can decide if you want the envelope to act on a positive or negative value against the level, and you can set here the attack and release, which is the attack, how long it takes for the background to kick in, or how long it takes to obviously to fade away in terms of release. Interesting. Of course, if you want to have a boiler noise, you can do that. So it really depends what you are after. So rain. I like also that you can test this straight away, and of course you can activate the envelope. And in this case, when you change the level, you don't have the background noise kicking in immediately, but it will kick in, of course, based on the attack here. And you, let's say, I give 4.3 second release. So turned off, and you can see the effect or release, which is happening against the level. Okay, so, and again, you have a master here. You can change the routing here, which you click on it, and then you can drag and drop to change the position. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. You have an input which controls the amount of gain to apply to the input. It goes from -24 to +24 decibel. You can apply a soft clip or not to the wet signal. You have then drive and wet effect. So lots of different options that you can use against or to try to simulate really different speakers, microphone, but also background noises. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration and tutorial. It's definitely one of those apps that you can have a lot of fun, and it's really, really well done, as all the apps really from AudioThing. Okay, see you next time. Bye.